Good evening and welcome to this episode. Tonight, we want to talk about this coalition that has been going on. Multiple parties, political parties coming together to form another political party, trying to unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A lot of people have the idea that, that he's messing up the country. He's becoming almost like a dictator from his activities, ranging from Rivers State up until how he's consolidating all the governors, threatening all the governors with, court cases and stuff like that, pocketing the judiciary, pocketing the legislature and all of that stuff. A lot of people have feared that he's having the tendencies of a dictator, and, himself and his presidency and his spokes, persons have come forward to say that, a lot of this coalition, people joining this coalition are political IDPs. They do not have a political address. They just anywhere face kind of politics. So those are the things we want to look at tonight. But for me, I think if this movement or this coalition, if they are sincere, I don't think they are coalescing for sincerity. I don't think there's any atom of sincerity among them. I think they just want to grab power. I think they are not ready to, be an opposition. They are just willing to grab power because if you really want to look at it, most of them that are coalescing together, they have had the opportunity to serve the country in different capacities. Like David Mark. David Mark was a two-time Senate speaker. Under Obasanjo, I think throughout Obasanjo's 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, and part of Yaradwas or something like that. Yeah, Amechi has been in the public life for almost 24 years as a Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly, as a governor 2 times, and as a super minister for 8 years under Buhari. So a lot of these people have had opportunity to serve the country in different capacity. And under Amechi's watch, Nigeria took out unthinkable amount of loan from China to construct railroads. And a lot of the railroads that they constructed was in other countries, Niger, along that route, constructing rails to Niger, leaving Nigeria behind. Just like what Tinubu went to St. Lucia to do. He went to St. Lucia, got to St. Lucia, give them scholarships for anybody that is interested in studying in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the primary schools in Abuja has been on strike for almost 3 months because of non-payment of salary and then non-increase in salaries. In one of our episodes, I made mention of that. Always make sure to take care of your home front before you go outside. Look good inside before you try to impress the people outside. I think that's exactly what Tinubu did in St. Lucia. That's exactly what Amechi did. He thought that was going to give him the presidency, and he lost woefully to Tinubu. And like I said, a lot of those guys, even Atiku has had the opportunity to be Controller General of Custom. Only God know what he did with that position. He had the opportunity to be the VP to Obasanjo. He was, in fact, in charge of privatizations, a lot of privatization that happened. He sold NEPA to his friends and stuff like that. So I'm not sure, what they are trying to achieve with this, but it looks like a lot of Nigerians are in support of this coalition. They say anything other than Tinubu is better. They are ready for anything other than Tinubu. Because under Tinubu, a lot has gone wrong. The exchange rate, went up significantly higher. By the time Buhari was leaving office, exchange rate was hovering around 400, 500, or if not less than. And all of a sudden, we went to 1008. I'm like, okay, so what is this? And a lot of people have been praising his economic policies. I'm not an economist, but, I can look at what is happening and come to conclusion that it looks like he has surrounded himself with a lot of hallelujah boys that are not ready to tell him the truth. Same thing that happened to Buhari. Buhari was basically printing money, and then he had a lot of hallelujah boys that was around him and couldn't tell him the truth, and that was how he messed up, the country. And Buhari, speaking of him, he's supposed to be facing, court cases, answering questions about how he messed up the country. So I'm not sure what you think about this coalition. What do you think?
Well, I think the coalition is just recycling the same old leaders, the same old former governors, former ministers, former senators, former Congress people. So they're just recycling the same old people and putting them in a new party in a different party under a different leadership, because all those people in this coalition, they are not doing it because they love Nigeria, so to say. They're not doing it because they want the best for Nigerians. Maybe they are, but for the most part, it looks like they're either looking for a job or they're looking for a way to get back in the government. Almost all of those people in the coalition will either be a part of the government or will nominate somebody to be a part of the government. So it's not like, I don't want to say they're doing it because they love Nigeria. I don't want to believe they're doing it because they love the country Nigeria. Maybe they're doing it for their own sake. And the fact that Nigerians are supporting them is heartbreaking. But I can't really blame Nigeria. It's difficult for you to win an election without a structure in place. One of the reasons, a lot of people didn't support Peter Obi in 2023 was because it didn't have a structure in place. But Liberal Party still over delivered. They won in some states. They won some, polling units. Even for presidential election, the Labour Party won Lagos State. So they over delivered and overperformed in some places, but not just enough to push Peter Obi to the presidency. So with this coalition, I don't think it's for the people. I think they all have their own interest, and everyone will get their own interest addressed during negotiations. So, Nigerians are in for a rough ride in the next few years. Talking about President Tinubu, I think is I think he's over delivering at this point, because when it was running, it didn't promise anything. So it looks like he under promise and is over delivering at this point. He's over delivering because he never promised you anything. He just told you, Emilokan, it's my turn. So let me do it. It's my turn. Whether you like it or not, I'm doing it. And he was able to grab the power and, he ran with it. So now he's making the life of the people very difficult, especially with removing subsidies and the price of goods and services jumping a ton, doubling overnight, or maybe tripling in some cases. People are struggling to feed, they're struggling to take care of their family members. And it's really difficult out there. I can't imagine what the people are going through, but they have to support the coalition. If they don't support the president, the other option is for them to support the coalition. A third option out there is Shawore. I don't think Shawore has the numbers to win in the North. He doesn't have the numbers to win in the South. He doesn't have numbers to win in the East or the West. So it's probably a good idea for him to join the coalition, but we know Shawore will never join the coalition. He wants to be on his own, and I'm sure he's going to get some votes, but it's not just going to be enough to unseat President Tinubu. The coalition will give Tinubu a run for his money, because whoever the coalition present, as long as the people are good with it, they will support it over President Tinubu. President Tinubu has his own supporters as well. People that are bigots, people that believe he needs to do his 8 years, whether he's doing something right or wrong. And I believe the bigotry is also affecting us. It's maybe because it belonged to this ethnic group. The other ethnic group don't want to vote for him, or I'm sure that's what affected a lot of the Yoruba people too. They'll say he's our son, or let him do it. We don't want someone else from another tribe, from another ethnicity to do it. So that's one of the reasons people voted for him, because I don't think people should have voted for him at all. I'm not trying to be an ageist, but I'm saying he's old. He needs to retire and go enjoy all his wealth. But it looks like he's not playing around. He wants to continue to have that president title behind his name. So he's achieved the goal. Maybe he wants to drop out or continue to run for the next. It looks like he's going to run in the next election. So they're putting some plans in place to make sure he runs. Nigerians are in for a long ride. And then I'm surprised to see one of his boys, Aregbe. He was the former governor of Osun State, and he was a big supporter of Tinubu. He was one of his commissioners when Tinubu was a governor in Lagos. So I'm surprised to see him in that coalition. And I'm sure he was also nominated to be a minister. He was a minister in Buhari's presidency. So maybe Aregbe is the mole among them. We don't know. Because I don't know how you would stay away from your longtime boss and go to a new coalition to try to unseat him when he's basically giving you everything you got. It gave you the commissioner position. It gave you the governorship position. Probably nominated you for the ministerial appointment. So they need to be careful. They need to, watch out for that guy. He's one of the Tinubu boys, and if they want to, work things out, they need to be wary of him. I know they usually say there's no long-term friend or long-term enemies in politics, but you got to be careful of the people you bring in the coalition. I know everyone is desperate. They want to win. They want to unseat Tinubu. They want to show that with his money, with his wealth, they can unseat him. I don't see that happening because he has all the tools to fight against that. He has the court. He has the INEC. So, he's controlling everything at this point. It's going to be difficult for them to unseat him. So be careful of Tinubu's boys out there.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Tinubu and Regbeshola has fallen out. I think they fell out due to I think Osunbajo caused their problem, if I'm not mistaken, when Osunbajo was running for presidency. I might be wrong, but they've fallen out. In fact, they expelled Regbeshola from APC on the world level, so he's no longer part of APC for a while now. Yeah, I think he's charting his own course. And, it's beautiful that, we all go to the same market and buy the same product, buy the same price. And Hausa man will not buy tomato 200 and Yoruba man will buy it for 20 naira and the Igbo man will buy it for 5 naira. I mean, if we are going to the same market, we eventually end up buying it the same price. So if we want to vote for Atiku, we want to vote for Erufai, we want to vote for anybody for that matter, based on our different reasons, at the end of the day, we'll all suffer the consequences. If we want to be bigot, if we want to play ethnic politics, because he's our son, because he's our daughter, we want to put him there. At the end of the day, we all suffer the consequences. Almost all the part of Nigeria is suffering insecurity, whether it be north, west, east, south. Everybody is suffering it. Everybody is suffering. Everybody is buying things at high cost. There is really no food. The naira devaluation, everybody is suffering it. It's not specific to an ethnic group. So if at every point you just need to remind yourself that whenever you are deciding to vote for somebody because he's your kinsman, because he's from your place, because he's your brother's uncle or your brother's a brother, know that whatever comes out from that person, everybody will reap the consequences. He has, the only difference between some people and from other people will be maybe the amount of resources they have, at their disposal. A lot of people actually have more money than other people. So it means that whatever happens, they can weather some of those pressure, better than other people. But otherwise, everybody suffers the consequences. I don't really see the coalition being able to unseat Tinubu, regardless of who they make the flag bearer, even if, B is very popular right now. But I don't think Obi will be able to unseat Tinubu currently as it is. If elections were to hold today, Tinubu will win with a landslide. It's not because a lot of people will troop out to vote for him. It's because of the amount of resources he has at his disposal. In the history of Nigerian politics, it's only Jonathan that was successfully unseated by opposition. And speaking of that, the coalition that coalesced together in 2015 to unseat Jonathan was not born out of the love for the country. It was born out of the hatred for Jonathan and for power grabbing. And that was what it is. And the same playbook, the same thing is playing out. These people coalescing, I think they borrow from that playbook, and the same thing is happening. Do not get it twisted that Tinubu loves the country. No, he don't. He just want to mark attendance. He just want to check off his bucket list and say, I was a president, and just want to answer that, Mr. President. Like you said, he's over delivering. In fact, the whole country should be applauding him, should be clapping for him because he basically promised nothing. He only said it's his turn, and he's over delivering. Everybody should be applauding him right now. So yeah, like I said, I don't see them being able to unseat. I know there are a whole lot of, they have a lot of money bags in that coalition. Atiku is a money bag on his own. A lot of them are money bags. El-Rufai probably still has some money that he stole from his state. Amechi probably still has some of the kickbacks he got from the China loan, And a lot of them are money bags. But even the money cannot save you because Tinubu has everything Tinubu has the INEC, the most corrupt INEC chairman is inside his pocket. The legislature is inside his pocket. The judiciary is inside his pocket. The police is inside his pocket. The army is inside his pocket. All the security agencies you can think of, everything. He has all the resources to combat this coalition. And the people that are coalescing, they should be ready to go to jail. They should be ready to be answering questions about their past and stuff like that, because Tinubu will pull out everything to make sure he fights this battle. And then he would like to see himself come on top. And like I said, I don't really, no matter the money bags, no matter, I don't really see them being able to unseat Tinubu. He's a very big politician. He's not like a Jonathan. Jonathan wasn't really a politician. He was more of a technocrat than a politician. And he's somebody that have the interest of the people at heart, you know. So he really did not care. He left the INEC chairman. He could have changed the INEC chairman at the very last minute and nobody would say anything. But he allowed him be. But Tinubu is not going to play that game. He's not for that. He's not that kind of person. He will play that game and let people know that he's the master strategist, like they call him. And Tinubu is not going to go away. Tinubu may even succeed in picking his successor.
I agree with you that it's gonna be difficult to unseat him, but never say never. We know Tinubu is a master strategist, so a master strategist, so he can pull the cards out. He can, as a man, he worked Buhari in there for 8 years. He got himself there for 4 years, and another 4 years is not going to be difficult for him to pull off. The Nigerian people just need to be aware and make sure that they vote their interest and not the inducement they're getting for whether it's from the coalition team or it's from the president team. They need to be aware of that. Because once you take that 5K or 10K, that's what you're going to spend for the next 4 years. A lot of people that collected 5K during the last election, they're struggling. A lot of people that collected 10K, they're still struggling. Some people even collected millions, right? And they're probably done spending the money. So they're back to square zero. So be careful and vote your interest when the time comes. And one thing I do want to say about Regbeshola, I know he's falling out with a president, but I believe once a Tinubu boy, always a Tinubu boy. It's only going to take Tinubu a phone call and it's going to tell him everything they're planning in the coalition. So I still think they need to be careful of him. Maybe they're making him their general secretary, but I think it's dangerous having him there because no matter how bad they're falling out, it's just going to take Tinubu a phone call and they're going to rekindle their relationship. They've been together for a long time and it's probably just going to take a phone call. Hey, what do you want? You're my boy. Tinubu knows how to work with people. You'll be surprised. Maybe it's going to be their own Wike in the new party because Wike is in PDP now, disrupting PDP. They're not able to make any move with Wike being there as an insider. So yeah, maybe Bashola is going to be the insider in the new coalition team. So they need to be careful of him. That's my opinion.
Yeah, you are right. As much as people want to argue that Tinubu plays selfish politics, but I also want to believe that there is nothing too much or too big for him to give out just for him to get to where he wants to get to. The only instance where he did not pull that was with El when they refused to confirm El as a minister. And I think that was from Tinubu. He didn't just want to work with El. Otherwise, I don't think there is any person they confirmed as a minister, as any appointee of the president at all, that the president did not give nod. So long the president appoints you, nothing will hold you back. Nothing, absolutely nothing will hold you back. In fact, there is a case in the National Assembly. National Assembly has been making political appointment for River State. Okay, so there is this woman they appointed for local government, whatever, something local government. And I think the appointment requires some kind of educational, qualification. And they were asking her about her qualification. She said she went to school in Ghana for HR management and stuff like that. And then before she came back after the COVID, she found out that the school was a scam. And she also said she went to Bori, is a River State Polytechnic, something like that. She still did not have certificates for that. So in essence, she did not really go to school. She was just packaging herself. So that is what is happening with our country. A lot of these things doesn't make sense to people. And they still went ahead and confirmed her. So that is the power of the presidency and stuff like that. Somebody nominated her, maybe Wike nominated her, and Wike nominating her, even though she don't have the most basic qualification, she will still make it. So how they said there was a national security issue with the RFI, even though the president nominated him, it still baffles me till today. He's from the presidency, he's from the presidency. Nothing should have stopped him. Hey, something stopped him. So that is part of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu that I don't really understand till today. But otherwise, he is really not that kind of person. In fact, the wife just gave out 1 billion to Plateau State, 1 billion naira. So you see that these people they can sacrifice anything just to retain political relevance.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That he's a master strategist. He can give out anything to get whatever he wants. So it's not like the woman that got confirmed without the basic requirement is the odd one out. Even the former president Buhari, they said he didn't have a school cert, and it was there for 8 years. People voted for it allegedly, right? And it was there for 8 years. So anything can happen. We've talked about this many times. No rule of law. Everyone will do whatever they want to do. So that's the status of our country at this time. So again, people will have to decide which route they want to go. Do they want to collect a quick 10K? Maybe with the inflation, they can give them a quick 20K, and they can spend 5K each year for the next 4 years and usually take care of their family members and forget about progress in the next 4 years. It's important that whatever they're doing now, they start to don't forget the days that they went to bed hungry, the days that they had to trek to work, the days they couldn't afford to fuel the vehicle, refuel their generators, pay their children's tuition. Is they have to reach out to their friends and family members abroad to subsidize them, to give them a quick money. They need to take that anger to the voting booths when the election time comes, and hopefully they'll make the right decision and they won't forget all the suffering for the last few years.
Yeah, I know we have Nigerians, including myself, we have a short-term memory. We tend to forget our sufferings in a heartbeat. So if I were you, that urgent 10K, I would not take it, because as soon as you take it, you lose your voice. You lose your ability to criticize the government. You have no moral right to criticize them because they already bought you. So you've been bought. So if I were you, that urgent 2K, that urgent 10K, that 2 derica of rice and tomato and Ororo, I will not take it. Vote your conscience. Vote for someone that will make your life better, that will make life much more affordable for you. Vote for who you believe in, and vote for somebody that you can criticize. At presidential level, we know that most people do not have access to the president. But even on the lower level, like House of Reps, senators, your state House of Assemblies, your local government chairman, make sure you vote in your conscience so that you can stand up tomorrow and talk to those people when they are not performing. So make the choice.
Yeah, one thing I do want to add to that is don't listen to any influencers. Influencers are getting paid. Some people are going to get paid millions of naira, 50 millions, 20 millions to promote maybe the coalition or to promote the current president. Make sure you're not falling to their trap, because they're not going to give you part of their millions. Even if they give you some of it, it's just going to be a few K, maybe 10K and or 20K, and they'll forget about you. So don't listen to any influencers. It is important that you make a decision for yourself, a decision that will favor you and favor your family members. And hopefully your votes will count this time. And if it doesn't, we'll wait for the next 4 years. Thank you all for joining us. And again, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I want you to engage us in the comment section. And we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you and have a good one.
Bye bye.